As I came into the picture, I knew them as the musicians. I knew them as this incredible thing that in Nova Scotia there was a yodeler, because I'd only come across yodelers in Switzerland. And it was a real surprise to sort of come up, find them here. And it really was very, very enjoyable. 1995, I guess it was, came as the pastor of the church here until my retirement and whatever it was, COVID, somewhere around then. And so I knew Fran and, of course, Roy pretty well over those years. And when you get to give a talk like this or say a few words, sometimes you need pages, sometimes you need paragraphs, sometimes you need sentences. But if I was to sum up Fran's life, I think I could do it in one word. And that one word would be character. Fran had character. And I was always so impressed by that with her. My dad was a big character person, and he insisted as a young kid that I develop sterling character. Sterling being the word of the time, pound sterling. Sterling was the world's, one of the world's reserve currencies in those days before it lost its value. And anyway, he was very impressed with sterling character. That's what you had to have in life. I wasn't so impressed with the pound or that, but I was quite impressed by the sterling silver that appeared once a week, 4 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, for tea. And as a kid, I used to love looking at the spoons and stuff with the hallmark at the back. There's a lion rampant and a few other little things on there that tell you it's sterling silver. And that meant something to me because I really did enjoy the Sunday afternoon teas. What I didn't necessarily know was a little bit more about sterling silver, and that is that sterling silver is not pure silver. Pure silver, 100% silver, is too soft for most applications. So sterling silver is 92.5 silver, and then mixed with 7.5% of an alloy, zinc or copper or something like that. And what that does, it hardens the silver. It toughens it up and it strengthens it. And I think that's a very interesting metaphor with regard to Fran and her life. Because you know better than I that she had a number of disappointments, she had reverses, and life wasn't always easy. And it toughened her up. It made her strong. As someone once said, whatever doesn't kill me makes me stronger. Fran was a very strong individual, and the character that she displayed left me in awe at times. And I could go through some of the occasions, of course, when Roy had that fall, and so on. But you know that better than I know it. Today, I guess you call it, the sort of computer sort of community would say, WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get. And I always thought that was true with Fran, because I knew exactly where she was coming from on a number of things. I don't know if I should say this, but pastors, when they get together, they quite often go on about the 20-80 rule. And you may never have heard this before because it's sort of a secret. But the idea is that 20% of a congregation gives you 80% of the work. And 80% of the congregation gives you 20% of the work. Well, if I thought of Fran, she was one of those wonderful characters that didn't require all kinds of work. She was wonderful that way. She never caused a problem. She was always very supportive, and she was always there. And I found that immensely encouraging to me. If I look back, you know, if you reflect a bit on these things today, well, you know, when we went to school, we had to learn about all these great people. Had to learn about, I don't know, Alexander the Great, Peter the Great, Charles the Great, Tom, Dick, and Harry the Great. I mean, you had to learn about greatness. And of course, today, I mean, it's social media. It's the Taylor Swifts, it's the Beyoncés, the great ones out there. But of course, Jesus defined greatness differently. And it seemed to me that Fran fitted those parameters, those definitions, extremely well. Very well indeed. And to me, Fran, who would not be regarded as one of the great ones of this world by anyone, was a truly great person. And that character shone through in all kinds of circumstances, and in the 25 years or so that I knew her quite well, it always came through. And that was, to me, an amazing thing. And so I think we can all agree that Fran forms part of this wonderful group of people, if you want to call it that, who we now refer to as the communion of saints. And perhaps in conclusion, let me speak to Fran just a little bit, because I'd like to thank you, Fran, for the example you set, for the character you showed, for the life you lived. And I consider myself immensely grateful that I was allowed to walk some of those steps with Fran, with you over the years. It's been a great privilege, and it's been a true honor. Thank you.